details keep coming out about the run-up to Harry's decision to finally accept his father's invitation to the coronation on May the 6th. Harry and Meghan left it discourteously long before they finally gave their answer, and that was, of course, that came out, I think, last Wednesday when we learned late in life that Harry would come and Meghan wouldn't, and we now hear stories of what's being called transatlantic ping pong, that Harry only agreed to come after a long heart-to-heart on the phone with his dad, King Charles. So lots of toing and froing, negotiating Harry's attendance at this big event.
Well, this seems to be the latest reason for him coming, that he had a heart-to-heart with his dad. Remember as well, there was some conversations with Palisades about where he's going to sit, who's going to sit near, who's going to sit in front of, who's going to sit behind. Now we've got this. After months of ignoring his father, it seems he's been in contact, and there is an expression, a willingness and wanting to mend on both sides. Well, I'll believe that when I see it, Kevin. I cannot see any rapprochement with Harry and the rest of the royal family, particularly William. I mean, he was vicious in that book to other members of the royal family. You know, his dad, Camilla, his brother. I just can't see how this guy expects that everybody's just going to sort of wash their hands and say, "Oh yeah, it's okay. Let's build bridges, and you'll come back into the family fold, so to speak." Can't see it happen.
As we discussed the other day, Charlie, the other reason for the delay in RSVPing to the invitation to the coronation on Harry's part was that he was obsessed with where he might be sitting.
Yeah.
He wanted to be among the VIPs, near the front row, presumably, and didn't want the ignominy of being put towards the back or something like that. As we discussed the other day, I think this guy has an empty life and he's only got one thing to obsess on, his own status.
It's ludicrous to assume, or for him to assume, that he was going to be sat behind a pillar at the back of the...
That's where I'd put him.
Yeah. I'd probably join. But he is going to be with other members of the royal family. He's just not going to be with the, if you like, the A-list of the royal family, because he has got no role in this coronation apart from being lucky enough to have an invitation to be in the Abbey to watch his father officially being crowned king. Prince William, as Prince of Wales, has a role in the coronation, and he will perform it. Harry's got no role whatsoever. It is not even clear, really, that Harry's going to go to the coronation lunch. He's certainly not going to the coronation concert, according to his people, on the Sunday at Windsor. He may not even go to the coronation lunch after the coronation. It's ridiculous. It really is.
Well, that would be that would add rudeness to rudeness, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, of course it would.
Let's talk about Harry and William. I mean, there's talk of. I've read stories where Harry's a bit worried that nobody in the royal family will talk to him, but he's friendly. He's always remained friends with Fergie's daughter, Andrew's daughter, Beatrice and Eugenie. So they'll talk to him. I assume they'll put him near to those two sisters, but he won't. I don't think there will be a single word between him and William, do you?
I would be absolutely surprised. You see, if he's at the Abbey and even if he's behind William or a couple of rows behind William, there's no opportunity for him to talk to William there because, there is an occasion, a historical occasion that's got to happen. If he's not going to go to the coronation lunch, well, when is he going to speak to William? When is he going to speak to his father? His father's got, a full day being king. It's not just a one-hit wonder. So I don't know when he's going to have a chat. I think Zara Tyndall and her husband Mike will probably have a chat with him because they're very friendly, and it will continue. But you're right, Eugenie and Beatrice are about the only two who still really talk to him. The others will keep him at arm's length because they cannot trust him. They cannot trust that anything they say to him may appear in a podcast or another book or something, a tweet or whatever. he cannot be trusted.
Yeah, and don't forget, Meghan's writing a book, so I'm sure she'll be very keen to get what all the details of what happens to Harry when he goes to the coronation. So that could be reproduced unfavourably in terms of the royal family, no doubt will be. But we also learnt, his book Spare, that Camilla, who's always been something of a hate figure for Harry, was very, very upset by the way she was written about by the Duke of Sussex.
Now, we know this because one of her 6 most trusted companions, the Marchioness of Lansdowne, has given an interview to the Sunday Times, which has gone into, a huge amount of stuff about Camilla. Particularly, she says that Camilla was really hurt and wounded by Harry's comments in the book Spare. And she actually points out that, in actual fact, he praised Camilla in glowing terms way before, she was, in effect, the best thing since sliced bread. But he gave an interview to Angela Levin for her book, in which he was very effusive about his stepmother. So I don't know what's happened suddenly from that conversation to Spare, in effect, and his comments on television to Brandon as the wicked witch and the wicked stepmother and the wicked everything else. And I think Camilla is a very stoic person in any case. She'll I'm pretty sure she won't forget it, but I don't think she'll make a big song and dance about it. She'll just take it in her stride and just hope that it goes away. And she won't be causing any grief for any chance of any reconciliation between Harry and the King and William.
You and I spoke about this the other day as well, this kind of weird phenomenon, the Queen's Platinum Jubilee a couple of years ago. So when there's a big royal celebration going on, the palace or the government reaches out to local authorities, to various town halls, councils, boroughs, and says, do you want parties? Do you want official street parties? What do you need? What are you planning to, that's what happens. So for the Platinum Jubilee, 16,000 councils, town halls, boroughs came back and said, we're going to have all this, we're going to have these parties here, 16,000. So the same invitations or the same queries have gone out to the councils and the town halls and the boroughs for Prince Charles's coronation, and 243 say they plan to celebrate, which is rather a reduction on 16,000. And even the local council in the Cotswolds around Highgrove, where Prince Charles lives, have said they're not planning to do anything. So there are signs that there's great apathy about this coronation. And to add to that, today a sort of investigation has been revealed by the Civitas organisation, which indicates that the royal family as we know it could be on the brink of collapse and risks abolishing itself by stealth. What they're talking about is, Charles, he constantly wants to make the royal family smaller. He wants to make it less pompous, more accessible. And Civitas seem to say unless the royal family is seen a lot more, unless Charles gets out a lot more, unless they all get out a lot more, that because of all these scandals that keep engulfing it, that it could just fade away. This is quite worrying, isn't it?
It is worrying. I have to say, Kevin, until I read about this in the Sunday Express this morning, I've never heard of Civitas. It appears to be some sort of think tank. And they have collated information from a guy whose name escapes me at the moment, but he collates the royal duties from the court circular of all members of the royal family. And over the last 10 years, there seems to have been a drop of 40% of official duties. Well, there's a simple answer to that is we've had a couple of deaths. We've had people, getting very old, not doing it. Charles wants a slim down monarchy. There's only literally 6 or 7 of them at the moment who are, the working royals. And there's only so much. There's only so much they can go around. And I suspect that Civitas has come up with this doom-laden analysis of theirs because they needed to get it in, to get it published. I don't believe that the royal family will self-destruct. It will last a lot longer for a great many of us, Kevin. But yes, I think it's right that that there has to be. They can only see. They have to get out more and more and see the people as they did in the past with fewer members.
Yeah, and when you talk about the 40% reduction in their civic duties, there's been far fewer invitations for the royal family to cut ribbons, open libraries, launch ships, all that sort of thing. So perhaps
I'm not sure that part of it's right. That there's 40% less. There's 40% less of them doing the jobs. I think the invitations are still flooding in. I mean, you have to see the invitations that come into that palace.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only so many hours of the day that these members can do this. But yes, there has been a drop of 40% because there's not as many members of the royal family doing royal jobs. I mean, we've lost Andrew for obvious reasons, and we've lost Harry and Meghan again for obvious reasons. So there's three of them that have gone straight away. A couple of the others are getting on a bit now, and they're not going to carry on. Prince Philip had retired, if you remember. The Queen clearly, obviously, died. And then Philip died. So there are reasons for it, but I don't believe that the royal family will self-destruct.
No, indeed. But I think that the coronation, May the 6th, it will be a key moment, a pivotal moment. I bet that they will get it right. I know they're very good at all this stuff. At the moment, we're hearing the arrangements are in some sort of chaos, but they often are as you go up to the big day. But it is an important day, isn't it?
Of course, Kevin, and as we said before, for a great many people, this is going to be the only coronation they will ever see. There's quite a lot. 80% of the people weren't around when the Queen was crowned. Now we've got new generations have come up. Charles has probably got, I don't want to be too morbid about it, but he's probably got another 20 odd years on the throne if he keeps on going the way he has done. And so we're never going to have a queen-like figure on the throne again in the foreseeable future. So this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I still believe, I know what you're saying about the people not having street parties, but I think London will be at a standstill on May the 6th.